possible to find anything which doesn't require work, which is good for you, which you are not going to end up calling a scam in the long run unless you try. And this is truly the difference between people who love life and those who don't. Everybody I know who loves life tries hard every single day. They work hard every single day. They suffer, they struggle, and they love their life. The people who sit around, they don't try very hard, they seem to be depressed. You would argue that that's quite counterintuitive. You would say the people who try hard and struggle and suffer, they're the ones who should hate their life, no? But it turns out those are the ones who love life, because the work you put in prevents anything from being a scam. It actually makes life beautiful. Work stops things being a scam. Work makes things worth doing. So when you tell me that you lack motivation, what you're really saying is that you lack a life. Because if you cannot work hard towards things, you don't have anything, and you never will. The gym is a scam if you don't lift the weights. You'll never get bigger. You paid for your gym membership, and you went to the gym every day, but you never got bigger, you never got in shape. Did they scam you, or did you not lift the weights? Learning how to make money online is a scam. You could find a billionaire who's prepared to teach you how to make enough money to save your bloodline from eternal serfdom. But if you don't do the work which is required of you, you're going to end up calling it a scam. Love is a scam, unless you put in enough work into yourself so that she instinctively respects you, so she admires you, so she is attracted to you, so that you keep the flame of your mutual bond burning bright. Unless you put work into the love, you're going to break up and you're going to say, love isn't real, love is a scam. Everything is a scam if you do not try. Everything is a scam if you do not put in the work. Going to the gym, paying the membership, wearing the gym clothes and the sports shoes, and refusing to lift the weights will not change your life. Without work, nothing is real. There is no magic to life without work. I cannot think of anything on the planet which is good without you working for it.
Anything that feels too easy, it just never seems to happen. The easy stuff never seems to happen. You can only really be successful or really make money the hard way. You see all these things online of these screenshots, these P&Ls, where people seem to just catch an easy lick. It's never easy. And I think one of the reasons I'm so good at dedicating myself and working hard and doing the right thing is because when I get an opportunity, I understand that even though it is very difficult, even though it is very hard, even though the chance seems slim, those are the ones that actually pay me in the end. Every time I've knuckled down and dedicated myself to something which was extremely difficult, I got paid. Every time I thought, this is easy, guaranteed, all the math adds up, no way this can go wrong, no work required, a little bit of money, a little bit of time, that's gonna pay me. Never does. Never does. It's like the universe, God, karma, whatever you want to call it, will only give you money the hard way. It'll only give you success the hard way. You can't get any of it the easy way. It just never seems to come like that. When you get a chance to do something, when you're offered the ability to work on something, and it feels hard or it feels difficult, you need to get very excited. You need to say, this feels difficult. This feels hard. I'm struggling to stay motivated. I'm struggling to be disciplined. That means it's going to work. Every time I get a chance to do something, and when I engage, it feels difficult or tiring or tiresome, I get excited because then it's going to work. Every time I get a chance to do something and I try and do it and it feels easy, I'm like, nah, this is never going to pay me. It just never has. You should be very excited by the things which feel like a slow grind, which feel like they are boring, which feel like it's hard to pay attention to them, which feels like they're never going to work, which feel like they're saturated. All these things are what you should get excited about, because I promise you, if you dedicate yourself 100%, those are the ones that work.
So imagine what you would look like. Imagine where you would live. Imagine the car you would drive. Imagine how much your woman would respect you. Imagine the love you would see in her eyes when she looks at you with adoration like a king. Imagine your existence. That person is waiting for you, and the only thing that's stopping you from being that person is your monumental laziness. You can have it. The universe is very giving. It will give you anything you work for. I've never seen somebody try for something with all of their might and not get it. The only people who do not have the things they want are the people who do not try for them. I've never seen a person wake up and say, my only dedication in life is to solve a Rubik's Cube and fail. You are not stupid. You are not incompetent. You are lazy and arrogant. It's extremely important you understand that that person is waiting for you, and you are declining that version of yourself. In the multiverse, in the many different versions of the universe that exist, there is a version of you that does those exact things, and he is a greater person than you can even fathom. You can transform yourself into that guy. You can be a top G. That's exactly what I did. I knew who I was going to have to end up being before I became that person. My brother and I are not from rich families. We are not from advantaged beginnings, but I knew I had to be a big, strong, fighting billionaire. That's what I knew I had to be. Discipline is the key to success. If you cannot force yourself to do something you don't want to do, how are you ever going to put yourself through the suffering required for greatness? If you cannot force yourself to train when you do not want to train, if you cannot force yourself to work when you don't want to work, or force yourself to eat right, how can you possibly ever become a monumentally successful person if you cannot control yourself long enough to do what must be done as opposed to what you feel like doing? A man must do what he is supposed to do irregardless of how he feels. That is the key component to masculinity, is discipline. If you do not have the discipline to dedicate yourself to anything, you are going to fail and be crushed by the people who can. If you only go to the gym when you feel like going to the gym, you're never going to be as strong as the people who go to the gym when they don't feel like going to the gym. That is a reality of life. So, I train every single day. I've actually heard from some people saying, you overtrain. And I explained to them, one, I don't believe in rest. I'm not you. I'm not broke like you are, Mr. Fitness Trainer, standing around the gym teaching people $50 an hour. I don't need to listen to you. Secondly, I don't train because I want to get bigger. I train every day because it is difficult to train every day. It hurts. I don't want to. I wake up and I'm busy. I have other things to do. I don't feel like doing it. So I force myself to do it 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so that I know I'm the kind of person who can do what he doesn't want to do when it needs to be done. I am that man. And it is more of a mental exercise than a physical exercise at this point. How can you ever outcompete me if I can force myself to do the things I don't want to do and you cannot? It's difficult. That is why most people won't make it. If the path was easy, everybody would walk it and it would lead nowhere. 100 people start the path, 99 fall off because it is difficult, and the one person who makes it to the end gets the gold. If all 100 made it to the end and the gold was divided by 100, it wouldn't even be worth anything. The difficulty gives it value. The fact that it is difficult to do is the key component into the fact you want it in the first place. If it wasn't difficult, everyone would have it and you wouldn't want it because no one would respect it. It's supposed to be hard. Life is supposed to be hard. You're supposed to think this is terrible. You're supposed to suffer and smile through the pain regardless. Discipline is the key to success in all realms as a man. And if you lack it, you stand no chance.
Everything has always been raw action. My dad had a tweet about this. He said that raw action solves all. And he used to say this. I'll give you an example. If you're a farmer and you need rain for your crop and there's no rain, you can sit there and say there's no rain, we're all gonna starve. Or you can stand up and do a rain dance. Now, will your rain dance work? Perhaps not. Perhaps the rain won't come. But I would argue that you're better off standing up doing that rain dance than just sitting there waiting to die. You have to do something. Raw action solves. So when I was broke, I was never like, I'm poor, what do I do? It was, I'm poor, I have to do something. If I was broke, I'd go for a run. That's why I was such a great fighter. If I was broke, I'd sit there and go, I'm actually poor. How do I make money? Don't know. Where can I get some cash? Don't know. What work can I do? Don't know. I'll just go for a run then. And I just go for 3-mile run. You just have to say, well, I have to do something. I can't just sit still and die. A lot of people are happy to just sit still and die or to go to sleep and take a nap. Well, if that's what you want to do, then you can stay a loser. That's fine. I'm glad there are losers, because if everyone had Lamborghinis, my Lamborghini wouldn't be fun to show off. I need you to look at it and feel the deep pain in your heart of regret and failure. That's the whole point of it. I need to drive my Bugatti and everyone be looking at it going, I'll never have one of those. And I can get all their energy and feel it all, and it makes me happy. Fantastic. So you can sit at home and do nothing. But when I was poor, I had to go for a run. I couldn't sit still or lift weights or do something. I couldn't even sleep. So raw action solves everything. And I understood that at a young age. But as you get older, you get to look back and you get to put your whole story together, the whole tapestry together. I knew I wouldn't stay poor. Did I ever think I'd get this rich? Well, I never said I wouldn't, but did I ever think it would probably happen at this level? No. But it's amazing how the compounding interest of just endless raw action adds up. I've never had a lazy day. I've never skipped work, never missed an email, never had a day off, ever. You name if you were to go through the last 3 years of my life, you will see that there's never been a day where I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And it all just adds up, and then monumental success comes and you get to laugh at everybody else, ha ha ha, and life's great. Well, I think that initially fighting is always the best thing you can ever do. Especially it's the best way to spend your 20s because you heal superhumanly. You heal like Wolverine. And I can't think of a better use of that superhuman healing ability besides fighting. And it's going to teach you everything you need to know about personal accountability and hard work and overcoming fear and dedication and discipline. There's so many lessons to be found inside of fighting. And plus, it's the most respected sport on the planet. And I think that you'll learn more about yourself and more about life and more about the realities of how the world works if you're a fighter. So I think that's what's so fantastic about it. All of my wisdom and all the things I say doesn't come from books. It comes from life experience. And a lot of my life experience is the brutal realities of violence. So people say, oh, Andrew's so smart, Andrew's so wise, Andrew knows so many things. I've learned all of that simply through fighting. And if you're a warrior in life, the arena may change, but the battle never ends. It's just never ending. And you have to get used to fighting. You have to get used to being under pressure and under stress all the time and being the kind of person who can perform and smile anyway. And I'm glad I spent my 20s training because I can't think of something else. I find it amazing that, like, I speak to people my age and I say, in my 20s, I spent maybe, I don't know, let's say 3 hours a day. What's a decade of 3 hours a day? Let's say 10,000 hours. I spent 10,000 hours in the gym training. You're the same age as me. What did you do with those 10,000 hours? And they can't even tell me what they did. What did you do? Watch TV, go out, go pub, sit around, sleep, nap, chase women. What did you actually do? We had the same amount of waking hours and the same amount of minutes. I know where 10,000 hours of my minutes went, and that's why I'm the champ. That's why I have 4 title belts above my bed. That's how I spent my 10,000 hours. Tell me what you did with your 10,000 hours, which is equal to, comparable to, or superior than how I spent my time. And they can't even name what they did with any of their time. They're like, don't know. So if you're 16, you need to be using every single waking minute towards things you're going to remember. You're going to remember training. You're going to remember working hard. You're going to remember trying to make money. You're spending your life and wasting your time doing things you're not even going to be able to recollect in a few years. You're going to wonder why you fall behind the people who don't waste time. Time is the ultimate currency. Time is money. Time is also strength and power and networks, connection. Time is everything. You convert it. It's like malleable. Time is like Play-Doh. Yeah. You can turn it into anything. You can turn it into muscles if you go to the gym. Turn it into fighting prowess if you go to the fight gym. But people have all this time and they just mush around with it. And then they're like, oh, don't know why I'm failing. I wish I was successful. When you're living that type of life and you end up searching for meaning, you end up down the path of hedonism because the meaning is, I want to have as much fun as possible. But